So let's do this, McGill. Gavin, you're on ESPN Radio with Ron Magill. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I would want to ask, if you lived in the time of the Flintstones, what animal would you use for a household appliance?
If I was in the time of the Flintstones, what animal would I use for a household pet?
No, household appliance. Which animal are you using as an appliance?
As an appliance?
That's correct.
It's a good question.
You're familiar how this worked in the Flintstones, right?
Help him out here, Mike.
Well, like an elephant would be a vacuum, just vacuums everything up.
Right.
My man Sugats gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get it.
You sound thrilled about it.
How about a Tyrannosaurus Rex as a blender?
Okay, that stinks. You stink at this game. You stink at this game.
I never professed to be good at this game, okay? This game was just thrown in my face all of a sudden. Come on, animals, what am I going to use a household appliance?
But I mean, Dino was a pet. Like he was a pet. One of the
but
dinosaurs was
Dino
a pet.
was not a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I understand. But what's your
point? Tyrannosaurus Rex has big teeth.
Wait a minute. You think you could train a Tyrannosaurus Rex to act as a blender? Like that thing's going to use you and eat you, and the only proof that it's a blender is when you come out.
I could train Dino to be my pet and go fetch, and I can train an elephant to vacuum my house. Come on, Dan, get into reality, please.
All right, it's a fair request.
Yep.
Dino was a Snorkosaurus.
There you go. You don't know what you're talking about, Zoo Man.
Oh, Snorkosaurus, and it was fictional.
Animal quack.
Yeah, Google Snorkosaurus and see what that gets you.
Let's go.
Get you, Dino.
Let's go to Dustin. You're on with the incompetent Zoo Man. Go ahead, Dustin.
Hey, Ron. We have a dog that shows no interest in sex except when he gets around his dog bed and he goes to town on it. And I want to know why he's attracted to the bed and not other dogs.
It could be that he's kind of imprinted on something. Maybe he wasn't ever exposed to other dogs. He could be imprinted and fixed on that one thing. And, just like people, some animals have sexual aversions or sexual attractions that are out of the norm. Your dog apparently seems to be one of them.
Larry, you got something big and Larry for me.
Hey, Ron. My question, I bought some goldfish maybe a couple of days ago. And each day that I look, one's always dying. What is the lifespan of the goldfish, and why is my goldfish dying so early? Thank you.
Well, believe it or not, goldfish, depending on what species or subspecies of goldfish you have, can live 20, 30, 40 years. Like the big koi, the Japanese koi, some of these animals can live a long period of time. They're all in that kind of family. I've personally had goldfish arandas that have lived close to 8, 9 years easily. What you're probably doing is you're probably using some type of household chemical around your tank. If your wife or your significant other is using, Windex or Lemon Pledge or something like that, or any kind of ammonia chemical, even though it's not used at the tank, those particles get caught up in the air and get into the water. That's instantaneous death for a lot of these animals. That's the biggest problem. Also, you may be using water that's got a high percentage of chlorine in it, a high percentage of chemicals that has made it good for drinking, but not good for fish. That's why you always need to air out your water and distill your water to make sure it's healthy for fish, because there's a lot of chemicals in our drinking water that are not healthy for fish, but are meant to keep us healthy.
Ron, I can't watch the Westminster or any other dog show without having mixed feelings. What do you think of dog shows?
I've got mixed feelings about them too, Greg. The bottom line is, boy, these people really care for their dogs, but they take it to an extreme. And a lot of times these breeds sometimes, gosh, when I see the people with the hairs and the brushing and all this stuff, I don't question the fact that these people really care about their dogs, and they're fun to watch to a point, but I don't know, it's that borderline exploitation in a lot of ways, and I'm one who doesn't want to promote these pure breeds, but I'd rather like to promote good mutts, because I think a mutt, just like a human being mutt, the better diluted your genealogy, the more healthy you're going to be. It's those people like, kings and queens that all keep it in the family for long periods of time that sometimes have the biggest problems, whereas your mutts, they're healthy, they have least amount of problems, and the gene pool is well diluted.
Well, it turns out the state of Florida is not one of the 13 states with an official state dog, and I was thinking Florida should adopt the mutt as an official state dog, and I'm being serious about that. Could you help me in that?
I would help you with that in a heartbeat. Cody,
nice.
You've got the power. You've got the column. I will help you with that in a heartbeat. You give me a call, and I'm on that.
The column doesn't have any power anymore. Beautiful. We just sold 7 books for him on
7
on
books in a minute and a half.
The column.
It's been a while since the columns.
How are you helping Ron Magill? How is Ron Magill going to help you?
Well, I'm an idea man. Ron has the juice, the animal juice.
Absolutely, man. And I'm telling you, that would be the greatest That's genius, Cody.
Thank you.
Genius.
Well, Ron, how do you go
that.
about making that happen? What would you do? What's the next step here?
Let's go. How do we throw the substantive power of this radio show that sells 7 books on Amazon behind this effort to make the mutt the state dog of Florida?
Why, did you drink the whole 6-pack of Haterade this morning? I'm telling you, LeBatard, sometimes you can get so mean.
Isn't that the truth?
Anyway, the bottom line is, I think the people who listen to this segment of the show, I know are animal lovers, and especially the ladies. Get on there. You have the power. When the people lead, the leaders will follow, folks. Remember that. I think if we make a big campaign, and we started with Cody writing something about, hey, why don't we make the mutt the official dog of Florida? Look at this. We're a melting pot of cultures here. That's a perfect dog, man. It's a perfect dog.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Christina, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoom Miami. Go ahead, Christina.
Hey, Ron. With all the wildfires going on in California, what do you think is going to happen with all the animals that are being displaced? Will they be moved to sanctuaries or what? Thank you.
Well, it's a tragedy, and I certainly don't want to make it sound like it's worse for the animals than it is for the people, because that's absolutely not the case. Animals are built to kind of resist these types of things, kind of acclimate and adapt to fires and move to different locations. There's no question some animals are going to be lost, but fire, in a way, believe it or not, can be a healthy thing. I know people are not looking at that right now when homes are being destroyed, but a lot of these homes are being destroyed because of drought, because of the wrong trees that have been planted in some of those areas, things like eucalyptus, which are no longer allowed to be planted. The landscaping needs to be planted thinking about what's going to happen in the future with these fires. Animals are going to adapt. Some animals may end up at sanctuaries. Other animals will relocate. As the forest comes back, the animals will come back also. They will recover. These fires are not going to hurt the animals as much as they're hurting people, believe me.
At the end of every segment that we do with Magill, he goes to the video. So what do you have here? You give us play-by-play of a video we have sent
Here we
you.
go. Okay, I put it on. Oh, there's a little deer grazing on the grass. A couple of birds flying around the deer. Yeah, no. Oh, come on, it's just a deer. The birds are kind of ticked. They're pecking at this deer. Jeez, now the deer. Oh, there's a bird on the ground. They keep pecking at this little deer. It's a little buck, a young male that's got some antlers coming in. And this deer's on the ground. Boy, these birds are a pain in the butt. And this deer is pretty patient. He's just flicking his ears. Oh, God, he's got a bird in his mouth.
No! Let go of it! No!
He swallowed the bird. This deer ate and swallowed the bird. Oh, my God, don't screw with this deer if you're a bird.
Oh! I did not know deers did that!
I've never seen that in my life.
Wow. What? Did he do it by accident?
I've never seen this. He must have done it by accident. The bird got caught up and he's chewing the grass.
Bambi, no. See, I've been right all these years. Magill tells you these animals are safe, and I've been right all these years. Even Bambi's a killer. Even Bambi's a killer.
I can't believe that. I've never seen that happen. That's the most remarkable video I've ever seen. The deer, he chewed this bird.
You're a quack. Protecting these dangerous animals. Unbelievable. I did not know a deer. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Did you know a deer could eat a bird? What the hell did we just watch? You're grieving for that bird's family. You should send it 1-800-FLOWERS. Birds eat flowers, right? 1-800-FLOWERS. Tell them, Stu Guy.